What is up, everybody? It is Wednesday night here in Manhattan. We're going to be skateboarding to the Hudson Yards tonight and taking a walk around the new Moynihan train station. Right now we are at 59th Street, Columbus Circle. So let's head out. Let's head downtown. Hey, what's up, the ABX girl? ABX girl, we're only going to be on for about 1 hour tonight. I got to finish some projects. Hey, what's going on, Sally? Hope you're well. Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hey, God Love 6980, what's going on? Hope everybody is well. Hey, Solo 401, what's up, man? Everybody, we're headed downtown tonight. Well, not really downtown. We're gonna go to Midtown. We're gonna check out the Moynihan train station. So we're only gonna be on for about 1 hour. Solo 401 says, how's life treating you? Life's treating me pretty good, Solo. What about you? Hope you had a good day. What's up, Lady O? Hope you had a good one. It was raining earlier today. In Manhattan. Hey, Ken, what's up, man? Ken says, hello, Tom. How's it going tonight? It's going really good. We're only going to be on for about 1 hour. I got really busy today, so... Dracula says, good evening, Tom. Yes, Solo says 1 hour, 3 hours later. No, but today is really going to be 1 hour. I'm finishing up some presentations. Things are going really good at work, so, you know, can't complain. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Victoria Greco, what is up? From Argentina. What's up, Victoria? And we have Soho Guy here. What's up? Everybody, welcome. We're going to be skateboarding down to 34th Street. The Moynihan train station. And then I want to go all the way to the west side, Hudson Yards. Solo 401 says, can't complain. What's up, Cosmo Scary? Kilo Whiskey Juliet is here. What's going on, everybody? Hey, Lady Orleans says, hey, Tom. I'll be back when my stream ends. Happy Wednesday. Lady Orleans is our pal from New Jersey. Thank you so much for joining. Cosmo Scary says you're watching from Union Square. Nice, man. Is Union Square packed tonight, or is it a little bit... Are things calming down? Hey, NYC Everything says watching from Staten Island, New York. That's good. Cosmo, what's Union Square looking like? Is it packed or what? So we're skateboarding down Broadway. Hopefully on Saturday I'll be in Brooklyn, in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, my old neighborhood. Cosmo Scares is not packed, okay? We're passing the Ed Sullivan Theater, the Late Show. We should be down to the Moynihan train station in roughly 15 minutes, assuming we don't run into any traffic or anything like that. most scary says you went to Little Island today. Nice. It's pretty good. I still have yet to go there. I need to go. All right, let's catch up on the comments now that we're at a red light. Ken J says, Tom, do you eat in more or eat out? I think it just depends. Usually during the work day, I would say eat out a little bit more because I'm taking clients out. But I would say as more recently, I've been eating in just because of the pandemic. I think, if that makes sense. What about you, Ken? Hey, Benjamin's here. Says hi from France. Welcome to all our pals from France. Welcome, everybody. So we have a lot of new people here, so welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Kilo Whiskey Juliet says not bad up in the mountain. Oh yeah, that's right. You have a place up in upstate New York in the Catskill Mountains. Not a lot of traffic for a Wednesday night in New York. Here's the Krispy Kreme donut shop. Ken J says you love to cook for your friends. That's good. So there's no specific topic tonight. Usually we have a specific topic, but I was so busy today. We were going to talk about Shopify and scrutinize their earnings, but we'll save that for tomorrow. So we'll talk about Shopify tomorrow. So tonight we'll just chill. We'll take it easy, everybody. Welcome to the chat. Benjamin says it's a dream of mine to come to New York City. When I go there, I'll pull off to the side just so I can read some of the comments. Hey, Ryan Kyle says, see a lot of people smoking herb in the public. Is it legalized? Yes, so in New York, you're allowed to smoke weed in the public, Ryan. No big deal. Welcome, Ryan, to the chat. Hey, the Magic Walker's here. Victoria Greco says, Tom, how was your day at work? It was a very, very busy day at work today. Extremely busy. What about you? Benjamin says, it's a dream of mine to come to New York City. When I go there, what are, in your opinion, the top things to do that are not typical tourist stuff? Benjamin, I would hang out on the upper west side of Manhattan. So I would spend most of my time on the upper west side. So if you go in the 70s and the 80s, in between Amsterdam and Columbus, that's where it's very residential in New York City. So it's not going to be like a lot of Times Square. It's going to be very laid back. I would spend a lot of time in Riverside Park. So I would look up Riverside Park. I would spend a lot of time there. And I would also spend a lot of time in Central Park, but more uptown as opposed to downtown Central Park. Oh, and Benjamin, I would go to Soho a lot. So I would hang out Astor Place area. I would hang out near New York University, which is East 8th Street. So that's what I would do. Hey, we have the Swan in the house. What's up, Swan? The Swan is from Ireland. It's a windy night outside in New York City. Solo 401 says Manhattan is the best borough. I would agree. Victoria Greco says it was good, but I'm tired. I'm tired too. I am tired too, guys. But it was a good day, very productive day at work. I noticed a lot more people are coming back to New York City in terms of the office workers. So That's always good. And we got traffic coming back too. So I'll pull off to the side and get up on the sidewalk. And I could catch up on the chat. All right, everybody. Hey, we have Susanna. What's up, Susanna? This is Hi Tom, guys and girls. Benjamin says, in terms of the borders and stuff, do you know when the US is going to be open to tourists again? So that's a good question, Benjamin. So Benjamin is a new viewer. I think if you're fully vaccinated, you will be allowed to travel from Canada into the United States and vice versa starting August 6th. August 6th. Hey, Destructionist says happy hump day. Benjamin says thank you so much for the tips, man. Yeah, dude, you gotta just hang out around Soho, the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and just walk around the neighborhoods, because you're gonna see a lot of brownstones that a lot of the tourists don't get to see because they spend so much time in Midtown. And I would just walk around Riverside Park. Susanna says, can someone tell what freebie that doesn't have translation to Spanish? Hola, Victoria. So guys, we're gonna go to the Moynihan train station tonight. I just wanna make sure I don't miss any comments. The Swan, how's it going? Hope everybody's well. Hey, what's up, Fernando? Fernando, are you working tonight? So for everybody who's joining, we don't have a specific topic tonight, but we will have one tomorrow. I wanted to cover in-depth Shopify, their earnings and their sales. And I wanted to cover a company called Zoom Info that's reporting earnings August 8th. So be sure to go into the fundamentals of the company. We'll talk about that later on the stream another night. Hey, Shiloh's here. Says that's the train station we are traveling into. Awesome. So you're gonna be able to see it tonight on the stream. We're gonna take a quick walk around. The Moynihan train station is absolutely beautiful. They did an extremely good job on it. So Shiloh, thank you for joining. Shiloh's also a new viewer. So Shiloh, we were talking about some of the things that you have to do when you come to New York City that aren't super touristy. And so I said you should spend a lot of time in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. So preferably this like 75th Street to like 87th Street, in between Amsterdam and Columbus Avenue. I think those are the most scenic neighborhoods in Manhattan in terms of the brownstones. You're gonna see a lot of nice architecture up there for sure. As well as Riverside Park. All right, here we are at the Shake Shack. Benjamin says, as you said, I'm new on the stream, so what's your job exactly? I'm in tech sales. So more specifically, software sales. And I work here in Midtown Manhattan. What about you, Benjamin? What do you do? Shiloh says, we are doing some touristy things, Ellis Island, and I can't wait to go to Friends Experience. I'm a fanatic. Well, that's awesome. So that's how my family came here to the United States. My great-grandparents came here through Ellis Island. And my grandmother's parents owned a lot of the speakeasy bars in New York. We come from a very Italian-Irish family. All right, here we are at 34th Street, Herald Square at the Macy's. And here you can see the Vanderbilt building. Wow, the lights are totally out. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but this is the one Vanderbilt building and the lights are totally blown out of it. I've never seen that before. Usually they have the lights on. Strange. Hey, Vincent says, good evening, watching while programming. Hey, Vincent, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. I think Vincent's new as well, so welcome to the channel, Vincent. Enjoy programming. What language are you using? I use Python. I usually mainly only use Python, so I would be interested to see what you're programming tonight. Benjamin says, I'm a student in order to work in music record labels. Nice. Hip hop is a big part of my life, and it's the main reason why I love New York City and its history so much. Benjamin, that's awesome, dude. Well, you're gonna have a great time. You're gonna have a great time here in New York, my friend. The ABX girl says, power outage, perhaps. Solo 401 says, bad engineering, I'd be fired. Yeah, well, we should hire you to, instead of the hotels, we should bring you here, Solo 401. Solo 401 says, mine too, going in September to see if I can find the names on the wall. Nice. Shiloh says, yep, same for my great-grandfather from Greece. Wow, he was 19. We even have the ship manifest. That's awesome. I think I do too. Solo 401 says, hey Tom, have you been to Martha's Vineyard? I have not, but I do have a couple friends that have been there. Vincent says, I'm a full stack programmer now using C#. Core React, TypeScript. Vincent, well, hopefully, I mean, don't work too hard, my friend. Don't work too hard. Welcome to the stream. Hey, GG NYC is here. It says, hey everyone. Cosmo Scary says, the weather is so nice tonight, finally. Kilo Whiskey Juliet says, Con Ed might be having a voltage problem in that area. Yeah, Photos from Around New York says, this is the second time we've seen one Vanderbilt completely out of power. Well, at least we have the Empire State Building. That at least. So right ahead of us, you can see the Freedom Tower, the World Trade Center, which is Solo 401's favorite building in New York City. So if you drop an exclamation point Solo in the chat, the Nightbot will drop a link for our pal Solo 401. So let's zoom in on the Freedom Tower. So exclamation point Solo in the chat. Solo 401 says if it's one building, it's the building, not the grid's fault. Interesting. Destructionist says, Tom, do you know if one Vanderbilt is residential or offices? It is offices. It is office buildings. And you know what? I think there's also like a tourist observation deck there. The Magic Walker says, love the city lights. I do too. Beautiful here in New York. We overpassed our stop. We actually have to go back uptown to 34th Street. So let's do that. The city's coming back. The city feels more alive. I'm telling you. Destructionist says, oh wow, cool, thanks. Yeah, I think it's the majority of it's going to be all office buildings, but I do believe there is an observation deck for tourists as well. The one thing, it's extremely windy tonight. I have to get a microphone so it's not so windy. Benjamin says, what's your favorite thing to do in New York? Skateboard around the city. My favorite thing to do in New York is just skateboard around the city after work. That's probably my favorite thing to do. But if you come here, Benjamin, you gotta go to this restaurant. It's an Italian restaurant. Becco is how you spell it, Becco. Becco, you're gonna love it. It's very, very good Italian food. Hey, Lisa Baptista's here. Says, hi, Tom. Hope you had a good day. I now tuned into your channel. Last night I was too tired to comment on your live. No problem. Lisa, welcome. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Solo 401 says, best thing to do in New York City is eat. I agree with that. Hey, we have Joe Hernandez here. What's up, Joe? Welcome, Joe. Says hello, Tom, and everybody. Photos from around New York says the lobby is open to the public and has access to Grand Central Station. That is true. That is true, it does. Kilo Whiskey Juliet says you've been to Becco. Becco's great. I love Becco. The Magic Walker says I had spaghetti last night. Always good. Well, thank you everybody for joining. We're going to do a quick walking tour of the new Moynihan train station. GG NYC, always good to see you here. Welcome to the channel. And maybe we'll do a quick pit stop to the Hudson Yards. But I really, really wanted to go down to all the way down so we could check out the views from the Hudson River. I think it would be nice to check out the views from the Hudson River. And it looks like we got some big event going on here, guys. You see all these people? Oh no, this is they're passing out food, which is good. They're passing out food. So we have a very big homeless problem here in New York City. So it's good to see that at least they're passing out food. So from here, we're on the back side of the Madison Square Garden. Mark Davis says, hi Tom, how was your day there today? Productive with lots of business on the go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mark Davis. Mark Davis is our pal from Toronto, Canada, and works in the medical marijuana space, so always cool to have him here. Kilo Whiskey says, let's go Islanders, let's go Rangers. Shiloh says it's everywhere, the homeless problem. One YouTuber I follow is Invisible People. He used to be homeless now. Oh, I think I have seen that, Shiloh. I think I have seen that. And I believe he's based in Philadelphia, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Shiloh? It's in Philadelphia, I believe. And he actually used to be on the streets of Philadelphia homeless, but he got his life back together. And now he just goes around documenting. He goes around documenting all of it. Which is kind of crazy, but cool nonetheless. So we have to wait at this red light, so we'll take a look at the Madison Square Garden. Solo 401 says Philly got it bad now. Addicts everywhere. Photos from around New York says don't scratch your oh, I got you. Board slide to the like button. Appreciate that. Photos from around New York. Shiloh says many have master's degrees and above. It's quite eye-opening. Really? That's really crazy. Victoria Greco says I love Paris. Joe Hernandez says it's funny they need an arrow to point people out. Kilo Whiskey MSG is overrated. Benjamin says, in your opinion, what are the biggest cliches you see in the movies and TV shows about New York that are true and others that are not? I'm from Paris. Trust me, French movies all full of cliches. I mean, I think that one of the big cliches, maybe just a lot of people hang out in Times Square. Like, I try to avoid it at all costs. I actually really don't like it that much. And like that everybody from New York City is mean and has an attitude. That's just like very just stupid to think. That those are like the biggest cliches, to say like New Yorkers are mean. Like, this doesn't even make any sense. And people are people. From my experience in life, people are just people, man. People live in New York, people live in Boston, people live everywhere. People are the same. So that's what I would say. What's not cliche, I would say that a lot of people here work extremely hard, like unbelievable, ridiculous amount of hours. Hey, Timothy, what's up, man? Hope you're well, Timothy. Good to see you here again. Yeah, so I would just say the work ethic. You know, a lot of people here that work either in investment banking or in tech, you know, we could work 80 hours a week, no problem, which is extremely commonplace, especially for a city like New York. So here we have the Empire State Building and Madison Square Garden in the same shot. Timothy says agreed. What's up, Timothy? Kilo says we're not mean, we just don't have time for small talk. Yeah, I mean, I don't even pay much attention to any of that. I just, people are people, in my opinion. I've never, I don't know. All right, so we'll try to take a quick walk around the Moynihan train station. Hey, Soho guy says, Tom, I only work 4-hour work weeks. Work smarter, not harder. God bless you, my friend. Photos from around New York says, I agree with your observation regarding work ethic. Photos from around New York says. Dracula says 12-hour days are the norm. I probably do about 8 to 9 or 10. Victoria Greco, and people taking a cab, isn't that super expensive? I never take a taxi. I always take the skateboard. Shiloh says we have nothing but nice people. When we were there last, bent over backwards to help us, especially in the subway. Yeah, Shiloh, I think that's a big cliche. So that's interesting that Benjamin brought that up. So, hey, Gregory Kelly's here. What's up, man? Says, when I first went to New York City, everyone was very nice to me. I must have looked like I just fell off the Trump truck because they all gave me lots of advice. Oh, the turnip truck, because they all gave me lots of advice. Got it, Gregory, no problem. Yeah, I mean, every time tourists come up to me, I'm super kind and nice to them. Why would I be mean to them? That's just really bizarre. Swan says, doesn't make sense. Everyone wanting to live in New York City. Don't think I could handle it personally. Interesting, the Swan. So any MTA transit, you need a mask. We have formula here. Says, thank you, Gerald, for joining. Kilo Whiskey Juliet says the mean ones are probably the hipster transplants. You know what? I actually agree with that. When I lived in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, there were a lot of people like that were coming transplants from Ohio and all this stuff, and those were the ones that were nasty.
Philadelphia, Wilmington, Aberdeen, Baltimore, BWI Airport, New Carrollton. Passengers.
So it's probably going to buffer a lot in here. The train station is really packed tonight. Wow. So it may buffer in here, guys, a lot, but we'll see. We'll give it our best shot. Hey, Mark Davis says, Tom, they extended the
Attention, please. This is a boarding call for Amtrak Northeast Regional Train 177 on route to Washington. Intermediate stops. Passengers should proceed to track 10.
Looks like we're gonna have to leave the train station due to all of the buffering. Vincent says press live, he's back. Yeah, I don't think we could walk through this train station because it's always, I think it's always buffering too. Sorry, everyone. So inside the building, I don't think we're gonna be able to check it out because I think it's gonna be buffering way too much. Oh, Formula, you thought it would be all old. No, it's brand new. In the Moynihan train station, it's brand new in there. Shiloh says, it was good to see it though. Looks nice, can't wait to arrive. Yeah, Shiloh, you're gonna love it. It's so beautiful in there. Everything is so clean. It's really, really beautiful in there. You're gonna love it. The Swan says, when I see lots of homeless, it gives me a bad taste for the place. Yeah, it's unfortunate the city is like that. Solo 401 says, I've been going to New York City every year since 1994 and never had a problem with the people. Always friendly, who are rushing from point A to point B. That is true. Hey, what's up, Chris Mills? Yeah, so Destruction is, this is the train station they recently built. It's the Moynihan train station. Benjamin says, maybe I just idolize New York City because I never went there. But it feels like there's a different mood / energy in New York. It feels like living, it's organic. Yeah, so, I mean, there's no place to be like New York City, Benjamin. I mean, I really do believe that this is the city of opportunity. So I think when you come here, I think you're really gonna enjoy it, my friend. In my opinion, anyway. So this is the backside of the Moynihan train station. This is where everybody gets off the Amtrak. We'll check out the place with all the lemons again. We haven't been there in a couple of days. That place is pretty cool. I think it's called Citrovia. So right here behind the Moynihan station, we were here 2 nights ago. It's the Citrovia. I'm not even sure what it's about, but it's just a bunch of lemons everywhere. Solo 401 says, I take Amtrak there, the best way to arrive. I agree. The Magic Walker says, ever see the movie Before We Go with Chris Evans? He meets a girl, she got her purse stolen, and they are stuck in Manhattan. I've never seen that movie. Never seen that movie. Benjamin says, how was the city when the Knicks were in the playoffs, by the way? I was near Madison Square Garden during that time, and it was crazy. There's a lot of people out there. Victoria Greco says, thank you for showing us, no problem. No problem. Gregory Kelly says New York City is the greatest city in the world. I would agree with that. Graphics Princess says, love visiting New York City. Can't wait until I visit again. Thank you, Graphics Princess. Can't wait till you visit again as well. Hey, and we got Andy S here. What's up? What is up from North Carolina? Let's see if we can cross the street here. If not, we're gonna have to go all the way around. And I don't think so. So we'll have to go all the way around, which is a bit of a pain. Or let's see if we could just go. I'm not gonna walk all the way around. I don't think it's worth it. So this is Citrovia. It's just a bunch of lemons here at Manhattan West. Benjamin says, for how long have you done those live streams? It's really great to discover the city. I think I've been doing it for about 2 months. Maybe about 2 months now. But I usually upload, I started by just uploading skateboarding videos of the city on my GoPro. And then I thought might as well stream it on the phone. Solo 401 says New York City has been destroyed 66 times in the movies. Very interesting. But thank you for being here, Benjamin. I'm glad you found the channel too, my friend. It's nice talking to you. Photos from around New York says Citrovia developer wanted to add an art installation instead of leaving boring blank scaffolding. Very interesting. Yeah, so Citrovia is just it's a bunch of lemons, but it looks really cool. It looks beautiful. The video. So hopefully the picture looks a little bit smoother than usual because I went into the settings and adjusted the frame rate. Solo 401 says live videos the best. Feels like you're there. Yeah, it does. I watch a lot of live videos. I watch a lot of live skateboarding videos. Chris Mills says, looks like Christmas on acid. That's funny. Yeah, but look at these things. The Magic Walker says Seinfeld was not even filmed in New York. Really? Are you sure about that? I think it was filmed in New York. Joe Hernandez is very colorful. Shiloh, it says you can use your mobile device in there to interact with the games. Oh yeah, so I guess Shiloh, if you want to come here, you should come here on the first day you arrive because it's right next to the train station. So if you just scan the QR code right here, I guess you can interact with all the stuff. The ABX Girl says in Los Angeles. Andy S says Seinfeld was filmed in Dallas. Interesting. See, I always thought they filmed some of the episodes at the diner, at Tom's Diner in upstate. I mean, not in upstate, in uptown Manhattan. Ah, Shiloh says it will show the vines growing. Gotcha. Hey, James Stewart says, thanks, Skate Bro, great stream. James, always glad to have you here, my friend. James, how was your Wednesday, my friend? Hope you had a good day. We're here at the Citrovia again because we were going to do a tour of the Moynihan train station, but there unfortunately is no service. Okay, Solo 401 says the majority of the show was filmed at CBS Studio Center at 4024 Radford Avenue Studio in California. Wow, I never knew that. That's really, really wild. I never knew that. I thought Seinfeld was mostly filmed in New York. Photos from around New York says Tom's Diner is just a facade. Different interiors. Interesting. James Stewart says Seinfeld was mostly filmed in LA. Never knew that. Hey, what's up, Rosie? Hola, ¿cómo estás, Rosie? Hope you're well. James says, thanks, Skate Bro. You too? Appreciate you. DJ, hola, says hola Tom, que pasa? Not too much, DJ. Hola, ¿cómo estás, DJ? To you as well. Daniel G is our pal from Buenos Aires, Argentina. He says, hi, Tom and everybody. What's going on, Daniel? Hopefully you had a good day at work, my friend. Daniel G is also a developer. He's also a software engineer. The ABX girl says Seinfeld was made in LA. Hint, if you watch the credits, it would say made in New York for all shows done in New York City. Interesting, I never knew that. See, I learned something new every day on the stream, guys. I learned something new every day on the stream. Photos from around New York says there is a scene where George is running in McCarran Park in front of the Russian Orthodox Church in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Formula says 420, 2520. Rosie says, saludos, Tom. Saludos, Rosie. Solo 401 says, Seinfeld and Friends, outside shot, were filmed in New York. Jerry has never been in Tom's, and Tom has never seen the show, only his sign. Interesting. Gregory Kelly says, I happen to be drinking lemonade right now, mixed with a shot of vodka. DJ says, muy bien, y tú, muy bien, DJ. The Magic Walker says, I still watch Seinfeld sometimes, and once in a while, you just need to laugh. Yeah, my grandmother's a huge fan of Seinfeld. Huge Seinfeld fan. Hey, Andres Loss says, hola, nice place. What's up, Andres Loss? We are at Citrovia once again. We were here a couple days ago. We were going to do a tour of the Moynihan train station, but unfortunately, there is no service in there. Hey, we have Lady Orleans back. What's up, Lady Orleans? Hope you're well. Daniel G says, are those lemons real? No, these are all fake. So all these lemons are fake, but they look beautiful though. Joe Hernandez says, the exhibit looks like the Wizard of Oz. Lady Orleans says, my stream ends in 15 minutes. I will be here when it ends, Tom. No problem, Lady Orleans. Take your time, no problem at all. Hey, we have Fancy Face here. Always love seeing Fancy Face. What's up, Fancy Face? Says, hi, everyone. Hey there, Skate Bro. What is going on, Fancy Face? Our pal. And the Sundays 1973 is a new viewer. Says, good evening from North Yorkshire, England. North Yorkshire, England. What is up? What is up? I was watching the Euro. I was watching the Euro between England and Italy. Very good game. Joe Hernandez says, I love Seinfeld. Yeah, so I actually used to work right next to Seinfeld's garage. Right on 83rd Street. So if anybody, so Shiloh, if you want to go there, it's 83rd Street in between Amsterdam and Columbus Avenue. And that's actually where Seinfeld keeps all of his Porsches. And I used to work right in that garage. Hey, Sierra Friend is here, says, love the camera quality. Appreciate that, Sierra Friend. Hopefully you're well. Hope you're having a great night. The Magic Walker says, great, now I'm craving lemons. So funny. Yeah, so I adjusted the frame rate on the camera, so hopefully it's a little bit clear tonight. Or more clear than it usually is. Daniel G says, I just finished coding some scripts. I need tea. As for those lemons, it is going to be a lemon tea. Be back in a minute. No problem, DJ. I mean, no problem, Daniel G. Daniel G is our pal from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Sierra Friend, happy Wednesday. Hope you're well. Benjamin says, do you know any good comedy clubs to go to? I don't really go to comedy clubs, but if anybody in the chat knows of any good comedy clubs that Benjamin can go to, please drop it in the chat. Hey, the Sundays 1973 is so close. I know, I was watching the game. England had a great squad this year. Great squad. The ABX girl says the Honeymooners was done in New York City. The Department of Film and Television has a list past and present shows made in New York City. Nice, ABX girl. Look, it's changing colors and everything. It's crazy. James Stewart says, yes, Seinfeld is a great show. 2.5 Men is great too. DJ's beautiful place. Andy S says, I like Frasier. Fancy Face says, can you explain what we are looking at? I still can't figure this out. It's just a bunch of lemons. Yeah, it's just called Citrovia. I really don't know what it is either, but it's just an exhibit where they built a bunch of lemons, and I'm not sure if there's any significance to it, but it is Citrovia. Sierra Francis, hope you're having a great night, Tom. I'm having a really good night, Sierra. Hope you're having a good one too. Gregory Kelly says, where is Liz? Lemon when you need her. So you can come here and scan the QR codes and all that stuff. Ooh, it's crazy blue and dark now. Shiloh says it's basically an art exhibit that's interactive according to the website. Cosmo says, I'm eating a farro bowl from Dig In. Nice. Solo 401 says 129 West 81st Street, apartment 5A is where Jerry Seinfeld lives. He rides his bike. Yeah, and he also has his garage there too. So I used to work right there many moons ago. Daniel G says there's some QR codes you could point them and try to scan. Comedy Cellar is the best comedy venue in the city. You'll need to book about 2 weeks plus in advance. I've never been to the Comedy Cellar. Photos from around New York. Fancy Faces, it looks really pretty. I like how the lights are. Yeah, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. So since we're here, we might as well skateboard past the Hudson Yards. This is where Amazon's headquarters is too. I think they built a satellite office here, if I'm not mistaken. You know what? I've never been to a comedy club in New York City. So here we are at the Hudson Yards. Beautiful, beautiful night out, but it is a little windy. Solo 401 says Frisky Fries is near Comedy Cellar. Yeah, I've never been to a comedy club in New York City. DJ says, "Adonde vas, Tom?" Boya, Hudson Yards, Vessel. The Magic Walker says, do you ever go to FAO Swartz? Not me personally, but we've skateboarded past it on the stream before. So this is the entrance to the tunnel. Gregory Kelly says, great skyline. Well, check out this view of the Empire State Building from here. Looks beautiful. You're looking at the Empire State Building, as well as Madison Square Garden. James Stewart says Skate Bro. That was a great shot of the buildings. Yeah, we're gonna see a lot more. We're gonna see nice views tonight. We're gonna see a lot of nice views. So you're actually looking at the Edge, which is that big exhibit here in New York. It's called The Edge. Yep, and then this is the Amazon and the JP Morgan Chase. They have satellite offices right in here at the new Hudson Yards. Gregory Kelly says, you take great shots. Appreciate that, Gregory. Thanks so much for the kind words, Greg. I'm trying to upload some photography. Everybody was pushing me to create an Instagram account. So I'm gonna try to take some nice shots of the city. So if you wanna see some cool photos from there, check it out. And also check out Photos from Around New York on Instagram, because he posts amazing, beautiful photos in New York City. Chris Mills says, I love New York, so confusing yet fun. Thank you, Chris, appreciate it. Lou72 says, The Edge, he and you too. What's up, Lou72? Great seeing you. And Patrick New York says, hey Tom and chat. Hope your day was great. My day was great, very busy. I was probably working for over 9 hours. Well over 9 hours today, but what can we do? So the only thing, it's going to be extremely, extremely windy. The wind is going to be like so nuts. It's always really windy every time you go over the Hudson Yards. Gregory Kelly says, what's your Instagram? It's just Wall Street Skate Bro. So if you type in Wall Street Skate Bro. So I try to take some photos from around New York, like Photos from Around New York. Check him out as well, please. Lou72 says, thank you, Tom. Hope it's good your way. Everything is good. Everything's good my way. It's just a little windy. A lot windy today. And here we have the vessel. So this is the vessel at the Hudson Yards. Cosmo Scary says, you're a machine, Tom, working 9 hours and streaming and answering emails. Sierra Friend, hey Sierra Friend. Hi Fod, this is cool. I'm gonna try to upload as many like cool shots in New York. So if I'm having a meeting uptown at a client's office, I'll try to get some shots. I'll try to do the best I can. The Hudson Yards is beautiful. I know we've come here a lot, but I just really like it here. It's really, really beautiful. And here we are at the vessel. Andy S says that building is cool. Yeah, this is called the vessel. It is a structure. IDK says, hey Tom. What's up, IDK? What is going on, my friend? Joe Hernandez says, Tom, do you use a stabilizer? Your camera work is steady when you are skating. Yeah, I just use a regular gimbal when I'm skating. Just a regular gimbal. Hey, the one, the only, Dan Russell. We love having Dan Russell in the chat. Says, bro, you are almost to 1K subs. Only 103 subs to go. Wow, that's crazy. Well, thank you, everybody. That's unbelievable. I never expected the channel to grow this fast. So thank you so much for that, everybody in the chat. I appreciate everybody subscribing to the channel. I had no idea the channel was going to grow this fast ever. IDK, we love having IDK in the chat as well. The Swan says it's a sculpture, not a building, as I once thought. But you can go up in here. So before everybody, there was a couple people that unfortunately did jump off the structure, so they had to close it down and add a couple safety precautions. But you are allowed to go here. Once again, you just have to be with a friend. Photos from Around New York says, you're doing a great job. Thank you, Photos. Appreciate it. Gregory Kelly says, quite a change from that, what Hudson Yards used to be. Absolutely, Gregory Kelly. Good point. So my uncle is a mechanic at the Long Island Railroad, and he says the same thing. He's been a mechanic since the very late 90s. And he's like, you would never believe what the Hudson Yards used to be like. It pretty much used to be like a big industrial yard where all of the Long Island Railroad train cars would come. So for anybody who's just joining, it is a Wednesday, so we usually do have a topic planned for today. But unfortunately today we don't have a topic because I just got way too busy at work. The deal sizes are coming in, but I promise I will have a topic tomorrow, which we are going to cover a company called Shopify. So we'll do a deep dive into their earnings. and I'll give a little bit of an overview on the company and why I'm so bullish for the future. But look at how beautiful all of the trees look here. Amazing. Hey, we have Marvin Ingle. Hello from Las Vegas. Marvin is our new viewer, new joiner of the channel. He was here on last night's stream, so welcome, Marvin. Viva Las Vegas, my friend. Solo 401 says great content gets noticed, word spreads fast. I appreciate that, Solo. Hey, and we got William Creech. What up, William Creech? Says good evening, everybody. What is up? Peace Ghost says, Tom, what up? Let's talk about beauty in New York. Peace Ghost, good to see you again, my friend. We are at the Hudson Yards, skating around. We were at the Moynihan train station. However, there's no service in there, so we had to leave. What up, DJ? Joe Hernandez says it was nothing but trains parked there and some being repaired. It looked like a factory. Yeah, my uncle still is a mechanic for the Long Island Railroad. Long Island Railroad. So you could actually see what the old Hudson Yards used to look like. If you look out over here, anything over here behind those NYPD cars is what it used to look like. Just a big, empty sort of wasteland where the MTA would repair all of the train cars. And there was also a lot of homelessness, a lot of homeless people here too. Hey, Sally's here. Sally, love having you here. So Sally says, it's like Christmas, Tom. The trees are pretty. Yeah, aren't they? Aren't the trees beautiful? Check this out, everybody. So if you're visiting New York, you gotta come to the Hudson Yards. It's brand new, it's open. The shops at the Hudson Yards are all open now too. There's beautiful views, amazing food. It's clean here. A lot of security, so it's very, very safe if you're coming here with kids or anything like that. And check out the views. You're gonna see the vessel, and then you're gonna see all of the shops at the Hudson Yards right here. Hey, we have the one and the only, the Wall Street Mighty Bull says watching, listening, thinking. Hello, what's up, Mighty Bull? Good to see you as always. Cosmo Scary says they should cover up the other side too. I think I'm gonna have to agree with you, Cosmo. Cosmo, you headed home now, or are you still in Union Square? Hey, we have Out and About, our pal from Toronto, Canada. What is up, Out and About? The Swan says, whomever becomes the 1,000th viewer must become a mod for life. Absolutely. Sally says, beautiful night, Tom. It really is. Benjamin says, it looks like the Avengers jet, but it looks amazing, doesn't it? Benjamin, when you come to New York, you gotta come here too. Patrick, New York says, have you ever gone up into the vessel? Yes. So I've been all the way to the top of this vessel during the winter of last year, and it was a beautiful view. And if you go all the way to the top, you could see a swimming pool on top of this building. So you could see everybody swimming laps, even at night. The only thing is, if you visit in the winter, the Hudson Yards, you gotta wear like 60 million winter jackets because it is freezing. It is really, really freezing in the winter over here at the Hudson Yards. If you come here during the day, you're gonna see everybody doing the Soul Cycle. So they have all of these, I'm not sure if you could see it that well, but they have all of these, I guess, little bikes for the spin classes of Soul Cycle. So there's about 75 people here during the day, all doing the Soul Cycle spin class. I've never done it, but I have a couple friends who do it. And they work out right under the vessel right here. Hey, Jonathan C says it looks amazing at night. What's up, Jonathan C? Hope you're well. Cosmo Scary says I'm home now. Too many rats scurrying past me as I sat in Union Square. Benjamin says, also, I was wondering, are dollar pizzas really that bad? I think they are bad, honestly. So Benjamin, if you come in here, I would suggest to go to Made in New York Pizza on the Upper West Side. And you should also take a trip to Brooklyn, New York and go to a pizza spot called DeFara's. It's worth it. It's really, really good pizza. DeFara Pizza in Brooklyn, New York. Hey, and we have LB in the chat. What's up, LB? Long time no see. Long time no see, LB. The Swan says some people just love sweating. What's up, the Swan? Dracula says the little island looked as hot as a desert today. Lady Orleans says you love Soul Cycle. Lady Orleans, have you been here? Have you ever done this, the Soul Cycle here at the Hudson Yards? If you want to do it, you can sign up the Soul Cycle right here at the Hudson Yards. Solo 401 says 99-cent pizza near Times Square is awesome. I don't know about that, Solo. I think I'm gonna have to give you some pushback on that one, man. I don't know about that. Which one are you talking about? Are you, Joe's is near Times Square. It's okay. It's not that bad. Oh, okay, Lady Orleans, you said there's a Soul Cycle in New Jersey. Copy. So I'm going to take you guys to the other side of the Hudson Yards where you're going to have an even better view. And within the next week, I'm going to get a mic for the camera so it's not as windy. Solo 401 says, try East Village Pizza. They have a pizza wrapped in a pizza. Okay, Solo 01's across the street from Penn. LB says you're doing well. Great to have you. Look at how beautiful the trees are here. So you can sit down on all the picnic benches, everything. It looks great. All right, let's skateboard to the other side. And I'm gonna show you the view all the way from the opposing side. And you're gonna see the vessel, and the view is unbelievable. You guys are gonna love it. But look at how tall they made these buildings. So you could see a little bit of the vessel in this shot, as well as the brand new Equinox Hotel. The Mighty Bull says, what's your opinion about Bitcoin? Any updates? So there was a big Bitcoin conference today, I think, with Elon Musk, Cathie Wood, and the founder and CEO of Square, as well as Twitter. No, not Square, excuse me. Jack Dorsey, that's his name. Yeah, so Square, apologize. Like I said, the Mighty Bull, I think that it has a use case for remittance payments. So if you live in a country where you send somebody to the United States or Canada to work, I think it's a good intermediary to send money back to your home country. So I like to think of Bitcoin and digital currencies from a frame of reference to that of people in emerging markets, right? So not so much in the United States, because we have a bank on every corner, but there's a lot of people in the world that are underbanked. A lot of people in the world that are underbanked. So check out the view from here. Amazing, isn't it? Really beautiful. But the Mighty Bull, what do you think? I'd be interested to know your thoughts. Shiloh says the sidewalk is so glittery. Shiloh, are you gonna come here when you visit New York? You have to. It's right behind the station. Lady Orleans, thank you for being here as always. Solo 401 says I had a pizza at Italy and it was horrible. Went back to the 99-cent place twice, but I like John's on Bleecker. John's on Bleecker is very good. Really, really good. Hey, and we have the Melbourne resident here. Dude, long time no see. Says, hey homie, how are you? I'm doing really, really good, Melbourne. So if anybody in the chat is interested in seeing some amazing scenic views of Australia, check out our pal, Melbourne. A fan favorite of the chat. I will say one thing, the sidewalks here are so smooth. The Mighty Bull says, I think digital currency is a thing that must take place. I agree. The Mighty Bull, I agree with you, my friend. Photos from around New York says the vessel looks like a beautiful sculpture. Shiloh says, oh, hell yes. Look at how beautiful like the top of the buildings look in the contrast to the clouds. Hey, we have Michelle McGraw. What's up, Michelle? We're at the Hudson Yards just skating around. Yeah, Solo401 is our official pizza expert in the chat. Hey, the Austin Tennis says, wasn't the vessel closed for a while? Yeah, so the vessel was unfortunately closed for a little bit after the winter because unfortunately there were a few people that jumped off the vessel. So it is back open, but the only stipulation is that you do have to go with a friend. So you have to go with somebody. Hey, Iris Cortez. What's going on, Iris Cortez? Hope you're well. We're just skating the Hudson Yards. Hey, the Austin Tennis says the tech sales talk got me thinking last night. Do you think introverts can be successful in tech sales? The Austin Tennis, that's a great freaking question, man. Dude, great question. So yes, because I am the most introverted person you'll ever meet. Like it is so extremely hard, or it was extremely hard for me to even talk to anybody. So the best salespeople that I know personally, copy. So the best salespeople that I know personally are actually introverts. So if you want to work at a big tech company and you're an introvert, the chances are you'll probably kill it better than anybody else. It's weird to say that. Like not all salespeople are these over the top like talkers. It may be surprising, but myself included, I'm extremely introverted. Extremely. And that's why I think introverts perform better in sales, is because it makes you take it a little bit more seriously, right? Because I think when you're too over the top talking to a customer or talking to a client, it can come off as a bit disingenuous, if that makes sense. But if you're calm, if you're poised, and you really try to go in there and understand the customer and come in there not as a salesperson, but really as a solutions consultant to the business and be a little bit more analytical and technical, I think the customers are going to appreciate that. And I think that's why I've closed a lot of deals over my career, because I think customers tend to look at me to come off as a place of being genuine and not just over the top and trying to like trick you into a sale. I actually will position the right product and service based upon your business needs, if that makes sense. So introverts, some of the best salespeople I know in enterprise software are overall introverts. There's a lot of people out tonight though at the Hudson Yards. Gregory Kelly says, I love the way New York City has changed and grown over the years. When first lived in New York City in 1979, Soho, Tribeca in the meatpacking district were wastelands, just as the Hudson Yards. Interesting. Benjamin says, is New York a big hub for tech companies, or are most of them in Silicon Valley? So Silicon Valley is just like a phrase for where the technology companies started, but there's a ton of tech startups here in New York, a ton. A lot of tech startups here in New York, a ton of them. Gregory Kelly says, you never know you are an introvert from your streams. Yeah, so I think I'm an extreme introvert, but the thing with me is I force myself to do things that I'm uncomfortable with. Like because what I've found in life is that the things that you're most uncomfortable with are probably the things that you should be doing the most, that'll help you out over the course of your career. So this is sort of like practice for me. I'm practicing for work, talking to all different types of people, things like that. So I'll catch up on the comments over here. Hey, the Penelope's here. What's up, Penelope? Cosmos is not as introverted as me. Melbourne says, hey buddy, thanks for mentioning my channel. Really appreciate that. And I was busy in doing some of my assignments. I'm currently pursuing my master's in civil engineering, and it's pretty hard and boring. That's awesome, Melbourne. Well, good for you, and I hope you complete that, my friend. Penelope says, hi Tom, just tuning in. That's an amazing view. Thank you, Penelope, for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. I'm just trying to catch up on the comments. Andy says, just be nice. I agree. Cosmos is not as introverted as me. Out and About says, what happens if I travel along to New York City? I won't be able to go up there. I will need to hire somebody to go with me. Out and About, hit me up. I'll go with you. The Mighty Bull says, good evening, Michelle. Good evening, Michelle, indeed. Michelle McGraw, what is going on? Penelope says, I agree. Hey, June is here. What's up, June? Out and About says, in sales, you have to know your product to make a good sale. Yes, that is true. The best salespeople know the product inside and out, especially if you're selling tech, because you're going to be talking to C-level executives that are the chief technology officers. And if you don't know what you're talking about, they're really going to know. Ken J says, to all the new people in here, please, if you like Tom and the things we learn here, please subscribe, and let's get into 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Gregory Kelly said, you never know you were an introvert. Yeah, the ABX girl says Soho was affordable. Gerald Lee says, Tom, I know you said you don't like snow, but have you ever tried snowboarding? I have never tried snowboarding, and I don't think I ever will, to be honest. Yeah, Cosmos says, when you think about it, Zoom meetings are just live streams anyway. LB says, so interesting tonight. Lady Orleans says, yes, Tom, that's true. We gain so much when we push ourselves outside of our comfort zones. Absolutely. Patrick New York says, have you ever gone up into the vessel? Yes, Patrick, I have been up there during the winter. I went up there during the winter and it was freezing. The Solo 401 says an hour, huh? We just passed an hour, God. It goes so fast when I'm talking to you guys because you guys are so fun to talk to. Shiloh says, I used to be super shy and introverted too. Then I was a waitress during college and some after, and that's true. The more you basically force yourself to step out of the comfort zone, the easier it is. Absolutely, I agree. I remember when I first got my job in sales, the first time I actually was in an in-person meeting, like I was so nervous, like my hands were like, I could feel my hands were shaking. I was like, dude, why are my hands shaking? I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. You sort of got to snap yourself out of it. But yeah, so if anybody who's just tuning in, we usually have a topic for every stream. And yesterday's stream was about trying to pursue a career path in enterprise software sales or in tech sales in general. Because contrary to what a lot of people believe, the starting salaries as well as your OTE, on-target earnings, for an account executive or an enterprise account executive selling enterprise software or tech in general is extremely lucrative, almost to that of investment banking. And maybe in some cases even more if you work at a startup company and you get equity and your offer is you have an equity offering in your package and stock options, it can be even more lucrative than going into investment banking. But a lot of people put it off to the side because they just think, oh, sales, it doesn't take any skill, it's stupid. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Could not be further from the truth. So if anybody's interested in that, check out the stream from yesterday where we talked about enterprise software sales. All right, let me catch up on the comments. The Austin Tennis says, can you briefly describe your first tech sales interview? I would be coming from the finance industry but have no real sales experience. Will they try to get me to start selling in the interview? So I'm going to answer your question with the question because I think we need to have a little bit of a dialogue. The Austin Tennis, what specifically were you doing in finance? Because finance involves a lot of sales, especially if you're an M&A on the buy side and the sell side. That's a sales position. A lot of people don't like to say it, but you know, you're essentially buying and selling companies and merging them together. So what exactly were you doing in finance? Were you working for the investment bank? Were you in sales and trading? Were you in mergers and acquisition? Sort of what were you doing? But in the interview, essentially what they're going to ask is they really want to see your sales process. So they're going to be, a lot of the times in the interviews, they'll intimidate you. Like in the interviews that I was in, they would say, yeah, you know what, you know, we brought you in here, but we did find somebody before you that we really, really liked, but our HR policy says we have to interview every candidate. So I just want to be totally transparent and upfront with you and tell you that, you know, we have found someone that we really like, but we will entertain this interview. And that they've said that line in every single one of my tech sales interviews. And they do that to test you and see how well you put up with adversity. Because when you walk into an office, and let's say if you're selling a CRM solution, you know, you'll meet with the chief technology officer of a company, and the company will say, hey, you know what, Tom, you know, I appreciate you coming in here, but Salesforce was in here right before you, and they made us a really, really good offer that we can't refuse. And I know that you're from Zoho and you're trying to sell us your CRM, but they really just made an offer we can't refuse. But I'm willing to hear you out, but you know, I think we're gonna go with Salesforce, right? So they try to model that situation. So in that interview, you really have to portray to the hiring manager that you're sharp as a tack, that they're making the wrong decision, and you have to persuade them as to why they should hire you over that other mysterious person, even if they didn't interview anybody. They like to throw questions at you to see how well you handle an objection. Right? Do you stutter over your words, or are you smooth? You know, are you respectful to the customer? Right? They want to make sure you're not insulting the competition. So you could always say something like, hey, you know, I completely understand and appreciate that, but I think my resume speaks volumes for itself. And if you'd like to sit down with me for maybe 20, 30 minutes, I could show you line item, step by step, the exact products and services that I've sold in the past. And I have a line of customers and a huge book of business that are willing to sing my praises if you'd allow me to, right? And you want to portray to that hiring manager, that you've sold things in the past, that you have a large book of business, that you have clients that trust you, that you can call upon once you are in that new position. So you really, really have to be confident, about that. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, Joe Hernandez says they are always testing you in the interview process, always. Like, I've gotten that line every time. They say, yeah, you know, we really found someone that we like, but, you know, due to policy, we have to interview everybody, but we just want to be upfront and transparent with you that we already found somebody we really, really, really liked. Hey, we have Techno Pink here. What's up, Techno Pink? So I'll catch up on the comments. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of snowboarding. It is really windy here too. But the Austin Tennis, if you want to send me an email, shoot me an email to thewallstreetskatebro@gmail.com, and I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions and go more in depth. Benjamin says, all right, I gotta go because it's 4:50 a.m. here in Paris. It was great discovering your channel, and I'll definitely come back for future streams. Well, thank you, Benjamin. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. The Austin tennis is I'm in finance industry, but I'm in the back office operations work. Got it. So the Austin tennis, I think like back office is fine, and I think it just depends on what you want to do. But from my experience, where you make really, really big money, like the thunder money, is you got to be in a revenue producing position in a company, and that could be at the investment bank, that could be at any company. The closer you are to generating that revenue, I think the more money you're going to make in general. Mark R. Davis says, Tom, you had a panel interview during the hiring process in your current position. How did you prepare? My last position I did. So they sort of, it's kind of corny in the tech world. They try to quote unquote make it like I'm not sure if anybody's heard of like a super day at the investment bank, but essentially what they do is when you're applying to be an account executive at a software company, usually you have the sales manager that is in charge of 7 account executives and 1 major account executive. So I had FaceTime, and I sat down with every single person on the sales team, and they just sort of talked to me about my background, how everything was, and then I sat down with the actual sales manager last, because I think the sales manager was just trying to see if I would work well with the team. So yeah, I met with, I think, about 6 or 7 people. About 6 or 7 people. The Mighty Bull says this is good. Hey, Marvin says I did 100% commission sales for many years generally. Marvin, that's awesome. What were you selling, my friend? I would love to know. You don't have to disclose that if you don't want, but I would love to know. Ken J says if you do not have someone to go up to the vessel, can you go on a guided tours as a group? That's a good question. I'm not sure about that, Ken J. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. Mark Davis says, Tom, yeah, I did have a panel interview, yeah. The Austin tennis says that makes sense. That is part of my motivation to move to sales. I think it would bring me out of my comfort zone. IB is tough to get into where I'm several years past graduation with experience. I mean, if you're working at like a bulge bracket firm and you want to move from like back office to, you know, doing whatever, maybe that would be easier. I don't know, but I think you have a good shot to work at a big software company, 100%. I really do. Shoot me an email, man. Look, if you're located in New York, I'd be happy to make you an introduction to whatever company you wanted. Shiloh says the Swan, me too. Faves. Oh, the Rascal Flats you're talking about. Got it. AZ is here again. What's up, AZ? Says Ken. If I was, I'd skip entering the vessel, go to the Empire or the Edge or the Rockefeller Center. Mark Davis says, do you like being a part of a team, Tom? Or do you like managing people or projects? I think I like being on the sales side more. I like physically selling things. I don't like managing. I don't want to be responsible for other people's activities. I just want to be able to be responsible for my own and pull my own weight, if that makes sense. Hey, we got Rob H in the house. What's up, Rob H? They said on, I think, Boogie Bob's stream the other day, they have a tour of the vessel. Interesting. Marvin said I did wholesale food service sales in New York City and Las Vegas. Restaurants, hotels, and catering. I'm sure you made a lot of money, my friend. The Austin tennis says that would be sweet. I am based in Toronto now, but I have family in New York and have always wanted to move. I know you mentioned the visa way is the way, but it presents another obstacle. That is true. AZ says, Tom, what's up? Not much, AZ. Long day at work today. Let's head out. Let's head out of this area of the vessel. It's getting too windy. I'm actually getting kind of cold. The Austin tennis says that would be sweet. You're based in... Yeah, so send me an email and, we'll figure something out. But there's a tech boom in Canada. So, if you like Toronto, you could always apply to all of the tech companies there. What I would do, so if you shoot me an email, I'll send you an email back with the positions that I would apply for. and I'll just give you a template of my cover letter that I would use. But just give me some context of sort of the sales positions you've had in the past. And if you haven't had a pure play sales position, we'll be creative and we'll work together to figure out a way to model your cover letter in a way that says, hey, I was working in back office in the investment bank, but I was a part of a team where I had to persuade. You know, we'll figure it out. We'll get it done. We'll get it done, pal. I promise. But dude, you can, if you work at like a bulge bracket firm now, you can work at a tech company as an account executive for sure. I wouldn't even sweat it, man. But I would just make sure that's what you want to do as a career. If you're really interested in it, and I would make sure that it's a product you're really excited about. So if anybody's interested in selling software, you want to make sure you're selling software that has demand in the marketplace. You don't want to sell a solution that's dead on arrival. That's why I would look at all the major cybersecurity companies. Hey, Julie's here. What's up, Julie? What up, AZ? Mark Davis is in Toronto. Hope all is well. What's going on? Julie, how are you? Shiloh says, you know someone loves what they do when they are willing to geek talk to anybody that wants to. I do that with photography, hair, and music. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I love sales. I love tech sales. But I also love investing. I also love finance. So I don't know. But I think I like tech sales more than finance. Oh my God, it's so windy. Jeez, hopefully we can get out of that wind. So every Friday, I think I've told everybody this a couple times, but I want to do a live stream where I'm sitting behind my desk and we can go in depth about software sales. We could analyze companies. So I think Fridays will be the day for that. So it'll be a little bit more interactive than these streams, but we'll have to figure it out. I still have to find a streaming service that I like. We're at the Peloton. So this is Peloton's headquarters. I know Phil Mission had a Peloton, or his wife. So this is the B&H that I'm going to be in tomorrow. I'm gonna buy a microphone for the camera to cut down on the wind noise. Hey, and we have Zap Allen here. What's up, Zap? Zap Allen was the person that requested the software and tech sales stream last night. Zap Allen, you spurred a lot of emails in my inbox. I had about 7 people email me last night that were interested in tech sales. So if anybody's interested in tech sales, definitely check it out. One of the best ways to get started is just to read Investors Business Daily, because they go do a deep dive in all of the newest emerging tech companies or software as a service companies. And from there, you can pick and choose and see which ones interest you the most. Julie's here. What's up, Julie? So we're passing the AMC movie theater. I can't believe movies are back, which is always a good sign. I'll read the comments. Zap Allen is here. What's up? Shiloh says that wind is what we call a breeze. We get 35 to 50 mile an hour windstorms and dust storms. That is crazy. Daniel G, what's up? AZ says, Tom, what is in the future that you want to do work-wise, like your goals? And so, if I may ask, so long term down the road, I want to set up a charitable trust. So I want to be able to manage my own money, and with the majority of my money, I want to sort of like what Jim Cramer does. He sets up a charitable trust where he manages the money, and then upon when he passes away, it goes to whatever he chooses. That's what I want to do. It's just be a money manager. Just manage my own money. Hey, Steven says, great show last night on CRM. Thank you. Steve, no problem, man. Ooh, look at the roach. Yikes. Yeah, so Steve, I had about 7 people email me about software sales. I think it's a great career, and look at this full moon. Wow, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Esther Bazan says, hello from Mexico City, Mexico. Hey, hola, ¿cómo estás? What's up, everybody from Mexico? Thank you for joining the channel. We have a lot of new people, so thank you everybody for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management Software. Dracula says, is that what they would call someone who invests on behalf of themselves? A money manager? Yeah, or a portfolio manager where you can invest other people's money. That's called OPM. The industry term is called OPM. But I don't want to invest other people's money. I just want to be able to invest my own money. And hopefully one day I have enough money where I could create like a family office and then a charitable trust where I can dictate where that money goes. Because there's a lot of tax savings with that. And I would rather have the money go to charity when I die than go to the government. So if you set up a charitable trust and you manage that money, I believe the majority of that money can grow tax-free so long as that money goes to a charity of your choosing. So I'd much rather have the money go to charity than all of these crooks in the government. Hey, Vaco says, Tom, I'm here watching, FYI. Not really into live chat these days. No problem, Vaco. I'm glad you're watching, though. Dracula says, so if someone asks what you do, you would say money manager. No, not now. I would say, right now I own a technology consulting company. So I do technology consulting and I resell software. That's what I do now. So one of my really, really good friends owns one of the largest managed service providers in the United States. And so when I left my company, I came to work under him. And he's like, any of the customers that you bring on, you can own and you can manage them. So I had to set up like my own corporation. And now I just work with, mainly in the healthcare space. So I work with a lot of the hospitals, home healthcare agencies, and nursing homes within the United States. Within the tri-state area. So I'll do all of the EVV software, electronic visit verification, remote patient monitoring. I provide the hardware as well as the software for the RPM solutions, things like that. Oh, Dracula says you mean future goal. Yeah, I would say that. I would say so. Everybody, check it out. Gerald Lee. Gerald Lee, you in the chat, my friend. There we go. Our pal Billy Joel, the one, the only Billy Joel. LB's is still interesting. Penelope says, don't spin around too fast. I know, sorry about that, Penelope. Apologize. Mark Davis says, Tom, do you plan to take early retirement? Looks like you were headed in the right direction there. I don't plan to ever retire. I don't really just want, I would get so bored. I need to be doing things. So I think I want to be a part of like a board of trustees or like an advisory board on like a company or something like that to advise the best practices for growth, things like that. I don't really want to ever like retire where I just do nothing. I want to always be involved in the business world. I always want to be working and producing. But that's just me. It doesn't have to be for everybody. I'm just one of those people, I always need to be doing something. There's a rat. Dracula says Long Island Zone, 100%. We're here at the Pennsylvania station. Yeah, Mark Davis, that's true. Early retirement, but still be doing your own thing. Maybe. The Mighty Bull says, do you think capitalism, what is the best system for the world population? I think pure capitalism is. We were talking about this on the last stream. What the United States has now is we have what's called crony capitalism, where we allow companies to go bankrupt, but then we have taxpayer dollars bail them out, which is not what should be happening. Which is not what should be happening. If we had pure play capitalism during the 2008 financial crisis, we would have allowed all of these banks to go under. But instead, we bailed out all of the big investment banks, so that just incentivizes all of this poor behavior. Because essentially all of these banks were making bad loans. And if you're a bank and you make bad loans, and if you give a mortgage to a person that's making $35,000 a year, but if you give him a $300,000 mortgage and the guy defaults, well, the taxpayer shouldn't bail you out. You should go into bankruptcy and you should be able to just do your own thing, I guess. And just go under. But we talked about that on another stream. The night we did that, the stream was crazy. There was a lot of controversy in the stream, so I don't want to go too far into it because people do get upset. The Mighty Bull says, I see. Hey, Rosie says, Buenos noches, Tom. Buenos noches. LB says, not good. Rats running around. Daniel G says, Cloud CRM, Tom. What you sell, I mean. No, I sell mainly electronic visit verification solutions, remote patient monitoring software, traditional telecom, IoT, SD-WAN, things like that. Hey, Michael DeCosta's here. What's up, Michael? Gerald Lee says, Billy Joel, my favorite. Saw him in concert when he was young, and I was young when I was 18. That's awesome. Hey, and we got Taga Kale here. Says, hey guys, happy Wednesday. What's up, everybody? The Austin Tennis says, Tom, how do you know that you would like sales as a career? I am under the belief that you generally do not know if you'd like a job/career until you try it and immerse yourself into it. Yeah, so that's what I did all throughout college. I had like literally a handful of jobs. So I started off, literally, I was a teenager. I was a service agent at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I was washing cars. So my job would be to take the car downstairs, vacuum it out, and wash it. And then I went up to the manager. I'm like, hey, I see you guys checking everybody into the cars. Like, what do you do? Is that sales? And they're like, yeah, it's sales. I'm like, all right, I'll try the internship. I'm like, can I have the internship? And they gave me the internship when I was about 19 years old. And I just loved it so much because I got to talk to so many interesting people. Because I worked on the Upper West Side of Manhattan on 83rd Street. So all of my customers that would come in to rent cars from me were all big hedge fund managers and portfolio managers and managing directors. And that's sort of how I got interested in finance. But one of the people that would come in, he was actually, I'm not sure if you've heard of the company. It's a very, very well-known firm on Wall Street. It folded now because there was fraudulent stuff, but it was called the Abraj Group. So I was actually dealing with the number 1 and the number 2 guy at the Abraj Group, which they're based in Dubai. And I was asking them, I'm like, hey, I really want a career in investment banking. I want to be in sales and trading. And that's what I want to do. I want to be in sales and trading. But they advised me, they're like, no, what we think you should do, you're very talented in sales. You should go sell into tech sales, enterprise software, telecom sales, whatever you can get your hands into, and you'll make a lot of money. So if you're interested, I did a podcast with Akram's Razor. It's a pretty decently sized financial podcast. So if you want to listen to like the story of how I got involved in the sales, listen to that podcast. That was the first major podcast I've ever done. So I was a little bit nervous at the time. So, but yeah, check it out. Akram's Razor. I don't know if you have a Twitter account, but if you follow Akram's Razor, I was on his podcast and we were talking about, cybersecurity sales, all that stuff. So you can check it out. Dracula says your drive is inspiring, bro. So you're inspiring, Dracula. What the hell, man? Joe Hernandez says that actually started in the 90s. I was a loan officer and my mortgage firm was doing a lot of so-called creative accounting. Yikes. Not good at all. Joe Hernandez. Mark Davis says, Tom, I worked with my father on the floor of the TSE in Toronto before I was doing what I'm doing now. Dude, that's amazing, man. That's my dream, was to work on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. I wish I was 26 years old in the early 90s or late 80s when there was actually like a use case for working on the floor of a stock exchange. But now the New York Stock Exchange is just like a television studio. Everything is quantitative based trading. Tom, when did you do the podcast? I did it last year, exactly a year ago. Mark Davis. If you type in Wall Street SASBRO, so Wall Street SAASBRO, and then Akram's Razors podcast, it'll come up. What does it say? The Austin Tennis says, Tom, what truly is the difference between an account executive and a business development representative? Great question. So a BDR is the most entry-level position you can get in terms of sales. It's not customer facing. All you do is essentially you send out emails and you make cold calls and you set appointments for the account executive. You don't want to do that. You want to stay away from that. In my opinion, you want to stay away from that. What you want to do is you want to be an account executive right off the bat, or an enterprise and account executive, because as an account executive, you're going to be traveling wherever your territory is. Sometimes account executives travel all over the country. In my case, my territory was the New York metropolitan area, so I would just travel anywhere in New York City, upstate New York, things like that. But as an account executive, you're responsible for closing deals. So you're meeting with these clients, you're making pitch books, you're doing presentations. So it's a lot of work in PowerPoint, it's a lot of work in Microsoft Excel. Doing lengthy presentations and demos with customers. And depending on what you're selling, your sales cycle can either be extremely, extremely short or extremely, extremely lengthy. So in my opinion, for anybody who's looking to break into software sales, I think the best way to go right now is cybersecurity. Because from my experience, every time I talk to a C-level executive at a company, every time, they're always trying to figure out a go-to-market strategy and implementing a cybersecurity solution. Because if you're a chief technology officer or a CIO at a company, and you're not allocating at least 10% of your budget to cybersecurity, and something happens that, you know, let's say if your infrastructure gets compromised, you're gone. You are so fired. So even though they may not need all of these elaborate, like EMATET, threat protection, zero trust technologies, they're spending money on it, right? So what you want to do is you want to look at the total addressable market. Say, like, look at the land grab of money out there and say, that's what I want to be selling into. So in my experience, I think right now cybersecurity is one of the greats. So if you're looking for companies in particular, if you want to do identity and access management software, you could look at a company like Okta or Ping Identity. And Ping Identity was actually brought public by Vista Equity Partners. You can do a little bit of research into them, Vista Equity Partners. Or CrowdStrike or Zscaler are good companies. I've been a shareholder in those companies for a long time. Chaudhry is the CEO of Zscaler, and the guy owns like 70% of the company. So I'll stop and read the comments in just a second. We're cruising around. Wow, guys, check out the full moon. Look at how beautiful that looks. Alrighty, guys. Gerald Lee says, hey, Boogie Bob. Hey, we got Boogie Bob in here. What is up? The one, the only Boogie Bob. What's cracking? As Boogie Bob would always say, what's cracking? What up, Boogie Bob? What's up, friend? The Austin Tennis says, is it normal to skip the business development representative role and go straight to account executive? Yes, it is normal. I was an account executive in college, during college. I wouldn't even apply for any business development representative. Go right to account executive. With your experience, you'll definitely be able to do that. Joe Hernandez says, I left that mortgage company. They finally closed. The Mighty Bull says, I got to go for tonight, but I shall return. Good night. Great show. Thank you, Mighty Bull. I appreciate all of the new viewers. I appreciate it. Mark Davis says, I was only 19 at the time, Tom, at TSE. Mark, that is freaking phenomenal. That's awesome, man. But the Mighty Bull, I just turned 26 years old. Michelle McGraw says, what's cracking? Yeah, every time I tune in the Boogie Bob stream, don't tell my clients, but I have Boogie Bob up on one monitor, and then I have my Zoom calls on the other. The Live at 5 with the one and only Boogie Bob. It's what I watch every day. What's crack in New York? So Boogie Bob, I wanted to ask you a question because I believe it's on 56th Street and Broad. Very young, I actually saw P. Diddy come out of that building a couple times, and now it's just completely vacant. It's totally closed. So I wonder, does he own the building or was he just leasing it? The Bad Boy Entertainment building near Columbus Circle. And if you go past it, the entire building is completely empty. The Bad Boy Entertainment, the old office, which is near the Ed Sullivan Theater. The ABX Girl says, good night, guys. Early workout tomorrow. Thank you, ABX Girl, for being here. ABX Girl is our pal from the Bronx. Joe Hernandez says, I always hit the like button. Appreciate that, Joe. Michelle McGraw says, that's awesome, Tom. Love to hear that. Lady Orleans says, don't forget to kickflip the like button. Thanks, Lady Orleans. Gerald Lee says, I watch Boogie Bob every day, too. Boogie Bob is great. Awesome personality. Marvin Ingle says, hi, Boogie Bob from Vegas. What's poppin'? I like to watch Boogie Bob. It's good energy. It's like, I feel like I should get up and do something. I got to go out and do something, be productive. Good positive energy. All right, I got to take a little bit of a break, guys. So we'll look at the view. Boogie Bob says, I'm honestly not sure, but they have leased so many with offices and studios all over Midtown. Got it. Yeah, it was just interesting because you could actually still see the sign that says Bad Boy. I think it says Bad Boy Entertainment, but they haven't been there for a long time. And the sign, it's just like an old broken down abandoned building. A little crazy. But we're now in Madison Square Park. Daniel G says, I used to be a CTO, and I did learn about cybersecurity, and let me tell you, as for all the threads, the cybersecurity budget has to be real huge. Yes, Daniel G, I'm telling you guys, if you're interested in selling software, definitely go into cybersecurity. CrowdStrike, Zscaler, Okta. Solo401 says, do you know any cybersecurity people, Tom? I want to move to New York City after my degree and wonder if they pay well over there. So one of my good buddies that I went to college with is an engineer at a cybersecurity company called Darktrace. So if you want to Google that, Darktrace, he's one of my best friends. I played soccer with him. I played college soccer with him. He's not in a sales role. He's more on the engineering side. But he's always busy and he's always traveling. LB says, yes, this is Bad Boy Entertainment. I don't really know anything about music. That's not my area of expertise at all. But I do know that's where the old office used to be. But besides that, I'm pretty much clueless on anything and everything music. Let me catch up on the comments. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Solo401 says Darktrace is worth 400 mil. I think it may be worth a little bit more than that now. Hey, good night, Lady Orleans. Take it easy. The Austin Tennis says, I know you spoke about starting the charity trust. Sorry, the comment got lost. But what sorts of things do people get into after being an AE for a while? So the way the hierarchy works, it's account executive and then it's major account executive. Then you could do enterprise sales, so you're selling into the large Fortune 500. And then you could become a vice president of sales, things like that. And then like chief revenue officer. It's just like a major hierarchy. So if you think about the hierarchy at an investment bank, you probably have the analysts, you have the associates, you have your VP, you have your managing director. It's sort of like that, but they just call it different things. But if you're a vice president of sales at a software company, you're probably making well over, you're probably clearing $700,000 a year. So but you probably need to get like an MBA for that in most instances. So if you're interested in getting an MBA and you want to work your way up to VP of sales, the company will probably pay for it for you. Solo 401 says cybersecurity is one of the fastest growing fields right now. Hey, take it easy, photos from around New York. Thank you for being here, appreciate it. Joe Hernandez says, I'm glad this was only an hour stream. Oh my God. We're coming up on 2 hours, everybody. See, I just lose track of time. Techno Pink says, this park looks good at night. Hey, what's up, Techno Pink? Our pal from... I'm blanking. Dominican Republic. Boom, there we go. Hey, Charlie, buenos noches, Charlie. What's up? Charlie, buenos noches, my friend. Michelle McGraw says, that's right, I laugh every time he says that. It's so funny. The Austin Tennis says, I lose track of time whenever I'm in the stream. Thanks, Tom, as always. No problem, the Austin Tennis. So one other thing I'll say before you go. If you have connections in state and local government, you could get into something that's called sled sales. Hey, Tori Day, New York. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, Tori. I appreciate it. Welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're all having a fantastic week. So what I was saying is, if you want to get in state and local government sales, not getting political, but right now is a great time to do that because the Biden administration, the floodgates are open, man. The money's flowing, the good times are rolling. So if you're in state and local government sales, you're making a fortune. So one of my good buddies, he actually works at T-Mobile for government. So during the pandemic, he was just getting thousands upon thousands upon thousands of orders for LTE connected Chromebooks and MDM software. So I think he works at T-Mobile, so they sell software through the channel, right? So if you're in enterprise sales of like a big telecom company, you're partnered with VMware Workspace ONE, you're partnered with IBM, Scale Fusion, Jamf, all of these software companies that you sell their products for obvious reasons. I mean, you can't just sell a device without a software. So the state and local government teams killed it this year with all of the Chromebooks, with all the Wi-Fi, with all the hotspots, with all the SD-WAN migrations. So if you think about what happened during COVID, you think about the traditional MPLS network. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with telecom, but like the old traditional MPLS networks that connected internal infrastructure of a company, all of that had to be administered over software now. So that's something called SD-WAN. So a software-defined wide area network. So all of those companies, state and local governments, they made a killing selling all that stuff this year. They did really, really good. So that's also another vertical, but telecom is lucrative, but if you could do like a pure play SaaS company, I would do it. I would definitely do it. There's opportunity everywhere. There's honestly opportunity everywhere, in my opinion. Hey, Charlie, ¿cómo estás? We're just skateboarding around. But ¿qué pasa, Charlie? ¿Qué pasa? So this is Union Square, 14th Street, Union Square. And we got the full moon out for Dracula in the chat. The Austin Tennis's sled sales doesn't interest me like tech and cybersecurity does. Yeah, so sled sales is like a department within a sales organization, right? So let's say if you work at a big cybersecurity company You can be on a small business team, which is called S&B. You could be on an enterprise team that sells into the big Fortune 500, or you could be what's called SLED, which stands for state and local governments, or it's public sector sales. So those are the people selling software into the government. So I think that's the best spot where you want to be. And you're going to learn a lot about the interoperability of governments. Like you understand what a state budget is, you understand going out for bid, you know, proposing with RFPs, all that stuff. Just think about it like this. Think about the Microsoft Azure sales reps. Think about the Amazon AWS sales reps that are selling all of those cloud contracts to the government. Those guys are making fortunes.
Thank you.
So it just depends on who you're selling to. So state and local government isn't like, it's just a division within a sales force, if that makes sense. Like there's state and local government sales teams at every single company all over the United States. It's just that's the vertical you're targeting. There's a healthcare team, there's small business, state and local government. It just really depends on who you're trying to sell into and target, if that makes sense. Just think about it like in investment banking. You could be in mergers and acquisitions, but are you like mid-market, or you know, what sort of area are you targeting? Or if you're an equity research analyst, are you covering tech? Are you covering oil and gas? Are you covering consumer staples? It's sort of like that, if that makes sense. Beautiful night out here, guys. This is one of the best Korean spots right here, Barnju. Very good Korean barbecue. So if anybody wants to come, it's right here. Charlie says, ciao amigo. Take it easy, Charlie. Patrick New York says, nice moon. Ken J says, time goes by fast when you're learning something. Yeah, I always say I'm gonna stream for an hour, and then it turns into 3 hours because we're just talking so much. Cosmo Scary says, I have to try Barnju. It's very good, Cosmo, very, very good. DJ says, hace mucho calor. It's very hot here. It's very, very hot. Charlie says, muy bien, muy bien. Joe Hernandez says, LOL, Michelle. When he said that at the beginning, I shook my head. Funny. Told you at the beginning of the tour it wouldn't be an hour. I know. But thank you everybody for joining. It was very fun talking to everybody tonight. Hey, and we have RT here. RT, what's up, man? It says Korean barbecue and some sojus is always a good time. Absolutely. I don't drink alcohol, but Korean barbecue is amazing. Baekjung is the best Korean barbecue place. Joe Hernandez says, I've never eaten Korean food. You have to go to Koreatown. It's beautiful in New York City. It's amazing. Solo 401 says, it's a running joke. No one believes that 1 hour. Michelle McGraw says, I don't see Tory Day. I just got a notification. Let me see. It's Toridaye, New York. LB says, looks beautiful tonight. Out and About says, thanks you for taking us along for the ride. No problem, Out and About. We're gonna head back uptown now. So I'm gonna head back to Columbus Circle. I might as well take you guys with me. Austin Tennis says, Dark Trace looks like a great company. I'll definitely send you an email tomorrow and hopefully we can make this work. Yeah, anything I could do to help. So the thing with me is when I was first getting my start, I could not believe the amount of people that were like willing to drop everything and help me out. And I think it's, if you're young and you show interest, that you're hungry and willing to work for something, people are gonna help you out. So I was super lucky to get a really, really nice job. So anything that I could do to help anybody else out, I feel like I'm obligated to reciprocate that experience. I think the world is about networking. I think the world is about helping each other out. So anything that I could do, I'll do it. If it's career advice, if it's making a connection, so 100%. Hey, Gerald Lee. Gerald Lee says, I saw where a group of New Yorkers went to the city to do away with outdoor dining areas, citing too much noise and an increase in rats. Gerald Lee, I don't know how I feel about that, because some of the outdoor dining stuff looks beautiful. I don't know about you, but I really like the look of just the exterior. I think it adds a little bit more character to some of the city blocks, but that's just my opinion. I think it's nice to see people outside, but I don't know. I think they're gonna have to pull the data on that. Is there really more rats? Like, how can you quantify that? Like, where is the data? I mean, I would just tell those people, you have to come up with some sort of factual data set to say, hey, these outdoor dining things are causing more rats. If that's the case, then fine. But I don't see how you could quantify that. Michelle McGraw says, that's so kind of you, Tom. No, I think that, I really truly believe that if somebody ever stopped to help you out in life, I think it's good to reciprocate that. And I'm not saying I could help very much, but I have a lot of friends at software companies and tech companies, so if you need a referral link or anything, if anybody's interested in software sales, you have to download this application. It's called Blind, B-L-I-N-D. And Blind is an application for anybody who really works in software or in Silicon Valley. And I've actually met a lot of my friends on that app that are account executives at other software companies like Twilio, Workday. I have a lot of friends there. And essentially we just trade contact information, and we post referral links, things like that. I actually got an interview for a healthcare enterprise account executive position at Twilio just from being on that app Blind. Let me catch up on some of the contacts. I mean, whatever it's called. The comments. LB says, yes, the data. Yeah, I mean, you can't just say, oh, there's too many rats. Like, is the outdoor dining really causing too many rats? I don't know. Gerald Lee says, the meeting between the city and the concerned citizen revealed that the city of New York would keep the outdoor areas at least till next year. Mark Davis says, Tom, what are your thoughts on the LinkedIn professional network? I think LinkedIn is overall good. Patrick New York says, wow, Tom, 900 subs, congrats. Wow, guys, thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you, everybody. Andy S says, can you put cats out to stop the rats? Yeah, let's just let like millions of cats loose in New York City. I think that'd be hilarious. Michelle McGraw says, I just installed the app, Tom. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, Blind. So you just need to use your company email because they want to verify that you actually work at like one of those companies. Solo401 says, people like to ignore the fact these days. Feelings seem to trump facts. I agree. Cosmo Scary says, I would cry if they get rid of all the outdoor dining. It feels like something the city needed for a long time. I agree with that, Cosmo. I agree with that. Mystics is 100 more subs to 1K subscribers. So thank you, Mystic, for being here. I really do appreciate everybody. I never thought that the channel would grow this fast. I really never thought that at all. Hey, Sally's here. What's up? What's up, Sally? Let me catch up on the comments. Solo401 says, we thank you for the wonderful chat and great info and the beautiful sites. No problem. Penelope. Hey, what's up, Penelope? Says, Tom, the beauty/art of your stream is that you appeal to our, oops, sorry, I've lost the chat. Auditory, visual, and kinetic energy. Roger that. That's very nice of you to say that, Penelope. Thank you. I really do appreciate you saying that. Joe Hernandez's success is helping others to achieve their success. I agree. Vaco says, hey Tom, do you think Amazon is abusing its market power and destroying small businesses? I think in some cases. I definitely think in some cases. Hey, William is here. It's this beautiful picture. Thank you, William. RT says, I think the scaffolding issue is bigger concern. It's absolutely anywhere. Yeah, well, Exhibit A. Exhibit A here. RT. I agree with that 100%. I think you freaking nailed or hit the nail on the head. I think that's what you call it. Hey, Timothy says 8-8 or H8. Yeah, I mean, look at all this scaffolding. It's covering the Flatiron building. Ooh, guys, quick note here. 2 streams ago, we went down to Wall Street. So we went down to Wall Street, and they're going to cover Federal Hall for the next 10 years. Nice. They're good. Yeah, so if anybody's interested, you got to get down to Wall Street because you need to see the Federal Hall building before they close it down and put scaffolding up for the next 10 years. In Solo 401, we were talking about it, and they have to make sure that they repair the building a specific way. They got to make sure they repair the building a specific way, so please check it out. Cosmo Scary with the drums. Zap Balance says, oh my God, that scared me at first when I heard them screaming. Zap Allen, I think they're just drummers. I think they're just drumming. Oh, but Zap Allen, I forgot to read your comment last stream because things were going by too fast. So, Zap Allen, you said that you work for a boutique digital marketing and SEO agency. You're an SEO analyst, right? Is that correct, Zap Allen? All right, before we leave this area, you got to check out this beautiful clock tower. This thing is my favorite. It's so beautiful. Solo 401 says most domesticated cats don't want much to do with mice and rats. You need stray cats. Okay, Zap Balance says, yep, that's correct. That's awesome, Zap Balance. So I think that's a good area to be in. I think that's a very good career path. LB says Flatiron building, my favorite. Well, there it is, and it's covered in all the scaffolding. Cosmo Scary says that used to be the tallest building in the world. Really, Cosmo? This one? I never knew that. DJ says Tengo Hambre. I'm very hungry too. Timothy, what's up, Timothy? Michelle McGraw says, is there ever anyone actually doing work on these buildings with the scaffolding? Because I never see anybody working on them. Same here. I never see anybody. Hey, we have the one and only Jay Serrano says, when you teach, it helps you stay on point. Absolutely. Absolutely. Cosmo Scary says, yes, the MetLife Tower from 1909 to 1913. Andy S says, yes, that's true. The building height, very interesting. The Austin Tennis is here again. Our pal from Toronto that works at the investment bank says, I know last night you said you were going to discuss the starting salaries for AEs in tech, but I had to leave early last night. Could you briefly give an overview of what to expect? Absolutely. So this is, okay, so to quickly preface this conversation, this is talking about in New York City. I cannot really speak on other locations, but in New York City, I will explain. So a business development representative, you can expect your basic salary to be anywhere from probably on the very low end, 55,000 to on the higher end, maybe 65. And your total on-target earnings, or they call it an OTE, your OTE is probably going to be somewhere around 80 to 85 is a BDR. Sometimes 90 if you have a really good commission structure. if you're an account executive, on the low end, your salary is really, it's really, really bizarre if you get like a $65,000 salary on the low end, but it's usually in the range of like 75 to 85,000 as an account executive salary. And then your on target earnings is usually around 125 to 130-ish, around there. But that's at 100%, right? So that's if you hit 100% of your quota. There were people that I worked with that were absolute monsters that would do 300% of their quota, and they would make a lot of money. But I've also seen some account executives at some big companies. Let's say if you work at an Oracle or SAP or an IBM, right? So I know that, you know, if you're selling Watson, like healthcare Watson, your basic salary will probably be like 120, a little bit higher. But as you move up into enterprise account executive, your basic salary is probably going to be 130 to 150, and your on-target earnings is probably going to be around 300. But again, that's at 100%. If you sell more, you know, and depending on what your accelerator is, you can make a lot more money. So it's very common for a kid that's just coming out of college that works and sells software. If he does 200% of his quota, you know, he's coming out of college making over $200,000. It's common. I'm not saying everybody does that. There's also a lot of account executives that don't sell anything. It's sales isn't for them. And so they get fired, right? So I think it just depends on if you're good at it. So I'm not sure if anybody's ever heard of the Pareto principle. It's 80-20. 20% of the salespeople account for 80% of the sales. So that means usually about 20% of the account executives are really exceeding the quota. And again, it just depends on what industry vertical you're in. If you're in cybersecurity, I mean, if you're not hitting quota, and if you're selling a cybersecurity product now, I mean, maybe just sales isn't for you. But I think pretty much everybody that's at a Zscaler, CrowdStrike, Okta, Ping Identity, 9 times out of 10, you're probably meeting or exceeding your quota 100%. If not, I mean, I really don't know. So hopefully that answers your question. Patrick New York says most executives get huge year-end bonuses as well. Absolutely. So exactly what Patrick said. So if you're a VP of sales, like if you're vice president of sales, your salary will probably be $250,000. But with all of your RSUs, they're called RSUs. So when you get a job at a company, you get RSUs, and then you get the stock options. With the options, they could probably clear 700. They could probably clear 700 grand. And you'll also have these like really one-off years where if you close a huge whopper deal, like there's always that one guy at the company that everybody talks about. They're like, dude, he closed this massive deal and he made 800 grand. You know, there's always going to be that guy. Patrick New York says, yep, that's true. Hey, Martin Ingalls is signing off until next time. Marvin is our new viewer from Las Vegas. So thank you for watching. Claus Johansson says, hi, I believe Action Kid once said that scaffolding in New York has to stay on site 1 year after the work is done. You know what? I think you're right about that. I think you're right because it stops all the debris from falling into the street. The Austin Tennis says, Tom, how did you get good at sales? Was there coaching available at the firm you were working at? Oh, what was that? So the biggest thing about me is jeez, I hate that. I hate the cars that are that loud. So the biggest, I think where I excel is that it's very, very hard for me to get deterred at something. Like, I think it's just my personality. I'm like a super over-optimist. And I don't know why that is. And I think it's to a fault sometimes. Like, I'm just always like optimistic. Like everything I do, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna kill this. This is like, what gold mine I have right here. So when customers tell me no, or they say, you know, I'm not interested in your product, like I just move on. Like no harm, no foul. So I think the biggest thing about sales is you have to be an optimist. You have to be so ridiculously optimistic to the point where it's like sickening, like where it's like, it's not normal. Because if you're a pessimist and you get depressed, you're gonna quit every time somebody tells you no. But at the companies I was at, we had a really, really good training. So when I got hired as an account executive, the first 2 months of work, I was actually on campus. Our company headquarters was in Manhattan, Kansas. So I spent about 2 months at the company headquarters, back and forth, flying back and forth between New York and Kansas, doing all of like the trainings, right? So they fly you out for 2 weeks. You go through all the training. They do like sales 101. They teach you about the product and the service. They teach you how to talk to customers, things like that. So there is training. At any big software company, they're not just going to throw you out into the dogs and let you get eaten. So hopefully that answers your question. So here we are at the Macy's once again. Wow, check out that full moon. Dracula's gate to Koreatown. Hey, Mark Davis says, hello, Monica. Hope all is well with you there. How is Sweden these days? Nice to see you again. Yeah, Monica from Sweden is in the chat. What's going on? Josh D says, sales is about being persistent and not taking rejection personal. Absolutely, Josh. I would agree. Daniel G says, good, Tom, good night. Have a great Thursday. You too, Daniel. Take it easy, my friend. So Daniel joins us from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Cosmo Scarius has got to take the L sometimes. I take an L every single day. Every day. And I've also been in some deals that were soul crushing deals where the sales cycle was literally over a year. Like I was working on this customer for over a year. I was working on the deal. I spent so many hours. Like I was putting in 80 hours a week with this customer on site at their location, doing things. And then they're like, you know what, Tom, we really appreciate it, but we're gonna go with this other vendor. It just works better for us. And that stuff's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And then you miss quarterly quota, and then it's a big nightmare. You just gotta keep going. It's not all rosy, but it's like that in every industry. Like a lot of my friends who work in investment banking, yeah, they're making a crazy amount of money this year because the deal sizes are huge, but they're working 90 hours, 100 hours a week, and they're stressed out of their mind and they have crazy anxiety. So you can't get the good without the bad. There's no free lunch. So, but I will say, tech sales is extremely, extremely less stressful than banking. I could say that with 100% certainty. The Austin Tennis says, does the company you work for pay for the off-site trips to the customers? Yeah, of course. Dude, 100%. Dude, I would take my customers out to steakhouses in Manhattan, everything. It's all on the company's dime. And you're encouraged to do that. That's how you build relationships with the customers. You want to go on site. It's called getting FaceTime. You want to get FaceTime with your customers to show them that you care. Right? You're their consultant. You're not just trying to sell them something once and bounce. What you want to do is you want to constantly be in their office all the time, 24/7, 365. If that means going out and taking them out to dinner, something like that, sporting event, absolutely. It's all about relationship building. Hey, the Sundays 1973 says, do you think the salesperson has as much to do with the sale as the product? The product, you need a good product. That's why I always say, if you're going into sales, especially tech sales or software sales, you got to know the industry. You do not want to sell in a declining industry. So for example, I would never go and sell advertising for the Yellow Pages. Right, I'm sure everybody knows what the Yellow Pages is. It's physically like the phone book. I would never sell print advertising right now, but I would sell software. So that's a great question. The Sunday is 1973. The product is extremely, extremely important. Monica says we could need some good live streamers here. All right, everybody, I'm gonna call it a night. I gotta end the stream. I just remembered I gotta do something real quick. Just popped into my mind. But I do appreciate everybody joining, really. Thank you so much for coming along. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream tonight. I learned a lot from you guys tonight, so I appreciate it. I really enjoy all the collaborative conversations we have. So thank you, everybody. Sierra friend, thank you for joining. Josh B, as always. Thank you, Mark Davis. Claus Johansson about keep going in sales. Wasn't it Colonel Sanders who had his first sale after 1,000 times? I think it was. It's just all about persistence and not getting down on yourself. You got to be optimistic. Always be optimistic. Don't, because you can get into a rut. Don't fall into a rut. Just keep moving forward. You'll be fine. Zap Allen says, have a good night, Tom. Thank you so much, Zap Allen. Peace Ghost says, thank you for keeping it fun for us, Tom. No problem, Peace Ghost. Best topics ever. Thank you so much. Hey, Gerald Lee says, Tom, thanks for a fantastic stream. Good night and be safe. Penelope, as always, thank you so much for joining. You're the best. Penelope says, I'm the best, you're the best. All right, but more importantly, everybody, be safe. Get a good night's sleep. Make sure you get 6 to 8 hours a night. Don't get sleep deprived. It's good to be a workaholic, but sleep is the #1 most important thing. If you don't get sleep, you're not going to be able to perform well at work. So you got to get sleep. So make sure you get a good night's sleep. Got to make sure. Hey. LB, what's up? As always, thank you so much. Joe Hernandez says, Tom, stay safe. You stay safe as well. Charlie says, Tupes es muy hermoso. Take it easy, everybody. Penelope, thank you. Everybody, I got to end it. Zap Allen says, oh my God, you're 99 subscribers away from 1,000. Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Ibrahim says, I am here. I agree that sleep is important. The Austin Tennis is see you tomorrow, Tom. You as well, my friend. Everybody have a great day at work. DJ says, buenos noches, Tom. Take care. Nice stream. Adios. Adios. Buenos noches. A dormir. William, thank you. Thank you for being here. So Fridays, I'm gonna get the streaming software set up on my desktop. So Kiki is our viewer from Rochester, New York. And I'm still doing some testing, but I want to get the streaming software set up so I can do some in-person live streams on Fridays. So we'll see how it works. I just got to do some testing, but we'll get it done. Check out this view of the Empire. It's coming up right now. It's coming. It's coming. There we go. And this is Bank of America Tower. All right, everybody. I'll leave you off with the picture of the Empire State Building and the moon. The Austin Tennis says, will you be doing more of those balcony streams like you did last week? Yeah, so I'll be doing those streams just to like a relax, work from home and chill stream. So I may be in the chat, but if I'm not in the chat, just means I'm busy on other stuff. But I will be doing those for sure. So the Austin Tennis, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Monica, thank you. Daniel G, hasta mañana. Todos, thank you. Mark Davis says, Tom, Jeff Bezos used to work for DJ Smith in New York City before he founded Amazon. I think you said that in a past stream. No, he worked at D.E. Shaw. So D.E. Shaw. So D.E. Shaw is a quantitative-based hedge fund, and they were actually in my building. And it's actually, speaking of it, it's right here. So 1166 Avenue of the Americas is the Marsh and McLennan building. That is the building where I worked for many years, and that is where D.E. Shaw is located. And yes, Jeff Bezos did work there before founding Amazon. That is true. That's where Bezos worked. Penelope says, nice, spinning too fast again. Sorry about that. Ooh, I just got splashed. Yeah, so this is the building, Mark Davis, right here. Marsh and McLennan. D.E. Shaw is on the 9th floor. So right about here. Right here. Ibrahim says, I think being in Manhattan makes your channel attractive, along with the good discussions. Thank you, Ibrahim. Formula says, wow. All right, everybody, I gotta run. Thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Be safe.